Tennis Australia bosses are reportedly discussing a major change that would break the Grand Slams tradition. The 2024 Australian Open could reportedly undergo a huge format change, with bosses' talks indicating a swap between the men's and women's finals. The tweaks, discussed during the 2024 Australian Open debrief, would be radical as every other Grand Slam, the French Open, Wimbledon and US Open, plays the women's final on the Saturday and the men's final on the Sunday. The women's final is only best of 3, compared to the men's being best of 5. This means that, with the men's final played on a Sunday, many viewers will have to get up the next morning for work and be forced to switch off. This particularly impacts Australians, while international fans watching in different time zones may not be as affected. The Australian Open finals usually occur at 7:30 p.m. local time, so the men don't usually finish until around midnight. As recently as 2022, the finals match between Rafael Nadal and Daniil Medvedev went on until 1:11 a.m. The 2012 final between Nadal and Novak Djokovic, often considered to be one of the greatest tennis matches of all time, didn't finish until 1:37 a.m. By switching the men's and women's finals, Tennis Australia bosses believe viewers and live audience members would be happier to stay up and watch the men's finals. The tournament, that way, would come to a conclusive finish before 11 p.m. local time on the Sunday. Organizers also hope that this might give the women's matches some added spotlight. According to the Australian Associated Press, these format changes were put forward and debated at the 2024 Australian Open debrief, but a firm decision has yet to be made. The idea isn't flawless, as organizers will have to factor in the 48-hour recovery period between the men's semifinals and quarterfinals. Usually, the men play their quarterfinals on the second Wednesday, with the semifinals following on Friday to give 2-day rest periods between each match. Female competitors, meanwhile, are used to 1-day turnarounds between quarterfinal and semifinal games. This is made more manageable as they are only playing best of 3 sets. Tournament director Craig Tiley has made it clear that player welfare would never be compromised to facilitate such a change of format. Tennis Australia would also not need permission from the ATP or WTA to make these changes, but players would be consulted.